Good morning.
5 years. How are you?
I'm good. We are on air now. We're about to begin with the class. So is the recording going on? Okay. Welcome to the second quarter. We are getting underway. No time to waste, and we welcome our two friends, Keke and Mukesh. Okay, Kumar. From India, we welcome you. I know you missed a lot of classes while waiting for your study permit to join us, and I would encourage you to get along with the readings of the previous classes, and I promise to give you the PowerPoint presentation. Please, I need your email address so I can just send them through, okay? Now, like I said, welcome to the second quarter. We continue with the lessons in CROI, our handbook. We are now in lesson 8. We are talking today about the demonstrative pronouns. The demonstrative pronouns, that's where we are today. But before getting to this lesson, please, in the beginning of CROI, there is always a list of vocabulary given, and please, I want you to learn those words and know them. If need be, please memorize them. And Keke, we are not relying anymore on Libronics. We are shifting now. You've got to know all those words by heart. So that's the nature of Greek 112. It's not like 113 where we will rely on all those sources. Good. Just to refresh your memory with regard to the previous work, I will go slowly on this. Basically, lesson 1 of CROI, we dealt with the alphabet, vowels, diphthongs, all those alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, and so forth. You really have to know all those in order to read your Greek. Studying in 2A and 2B, I sort of gave an orientation of the English and the Greek syntax, all the subject, verbs, direct object, adverbs, adjectives, and how all those things work. That's what we did together. And then lesson 2 of CROI, study unit 3, we dealt with the main verb, the present indicative active, and the present infinitive active of lu'uo, a verb. Remember those lu'uo, lu'eis, lu'ei, lu'omen, lu'ete, lu'osin, how we conjugate the verb and how the verb changes according to the person and the number. And then lesson 3, we dealt with the nouns of the first declension, the pure eta and the pure alpha, and some tend to mix the alpha and the eta. These are mainly the feminine nouns, okay? Can you give me an example of just one noun of the first declension? You still remember? Ora, phone, petlesia, thalassa, doxa, adelphe, all those nouns in lesson 3, Mukesh. That's what we did in the nouns of the first declension. KK, have you gone this far? Okay, it will help you a great deal. Now coming to lesson 4, we dealt with the nouns of the second declension, that is the masculine nouns. Okay, like logos, theos, adelphos, and so many other words. Okay, these are masculine nouns of the second declension. Then we came to lesson 5. I introduced to you, the adjectives and how they work. Remember all those attributive, adjective, the predicative, adjective, and the substantive. Okay. So, Mukesh, you will get that in lesson 5. That's why I sent you home to read all those lessons. As I refer to them, then you get to know lesson 5 according to that. That is basically what we did. And then lesson 6 of Croy, we dealt with the feminine nouns of the second declension and the masculine nouns of the first declension. Just that bit of confusion. It's only 2 words. Okay? You will remember that. 2 words in the feminine nouns of the second declension and 2 words in the masculine nouns of the second declension. Okay. And then last time when we met, we were discussing the verb eimi or esti in Greek, and we also looked at the form of the personal pronouns and how do they work in Greek. Personal pronouns like I, you, he, she, or it, and so forth. Okay. Instead of using a noun Mukesh, I can use he. It's a personal pronoun, or she, okay, or you, plural, or they. Instead of mentioning all your names, I can easily say they are in the class. Rather than saying Keke, Mukesh, and so and so and so are in the class, I can easily say they are in the class. So that's what I mean by a personal pronoun. So, coming to today, lesson 8 of Croy, we are discussing the forms and the syntax of the demonstrative pronoun. A demonstrative pronoun and also the special use of autos or aftos. Remember that in lesson 7, we know it as a personal pronoun he. The third person, personal pronoun. You can also get it in the feminine aute, that is she. Okay? And also neuter, it. Okay? So, but basically, that is what we are doing today. The forms and the syntax of the demonstrative pronoun. We use demonstratives every day. Demonstratives, it's something that we use every day, and I will come back to that. The Greek demonstratives, just a bit of orientation on the outcomes of this module. What is it that I want you to know? What is it that is so important that you cannot miss from this lesson? Number 1, you must recognize and analyze demonstratives. That is basically what we have to do. That is something that we must achieve. You must be able to recognize, to look, and say, yes, I know this is a demonstrative. So, and then secondly, you must be able to analyze, or what I call parsing. I will tell you how to parse or how to analyze a demonstrative. Okay? And then secondly, to recognize again and analyze the syntax of the demonstrative pronoun. This is basically the last point when you're analyzing a demonstrative. You explain it, okay? Like your adjective, you will explain and tell me it's attributive, predicative, or substantive, and so forth. In case of a verb, you will tell me this is a present indicative, and the indicative denotes a simple action in the present, or just a statement in the present. So, same applies to the demonstrative. We will have to analyze them or to explain them. Okay. Third, recognize and analyze the special uses of authors. Again, it has to do with recognition and the ability to analyze. Okay? Right? Any questions so far? You have a clear indication of where we are going and what I'm expecting from this lesson, lesson 8. Are we all okay? Good. Now, demonstratives are words that specify or point out a person or a thing. A demonstrative is or are words that specify or point out a person or a thing. Now, biblical Greek, like English, or in the Afrikaans class, like Afrikaans, has a near demonstrative, and that's what we call hutos. Hutus. A near demonstrative. What do I mean by near demonstrative? Okay, and also a far demonstrative, a kainos. I will give you an example of that. If I want to show you something, or I'm talking about a book, a near demonstrative will be this book. This book. It's something near me. This table, okay? This keyboard. But I cannot talk about the same book which KK has in a distance. Now the demonstrative has to change. This is a near demonstrative, okay? But that, it's a far demonstrative. That lady sitting there. But when I approach her and I'm near her, I cannot say that lady. It is now this lady and that guy. When I go to that guy, I am near him. Now I'm using a demonstrative, this guy. But now I'm far away from that lady. You understand? Now that is the difference. That is what we mean by a near and a far demonstrative, depending on the distance that exists between you and that thing or a person. Remember? That's what we talked about. To point out a person or a thing, depending on the distance between you. This book, that book. Okay? And it can also occur in the plural or singular. I can talk about this book, it's one book. But then now, these books. Okay? That book, and now when there are two or three, those books. Okay? I'm talking about a book, more than one. So therefore, this is what we mean by the near and the far demonstrative. From the Afrikaans class, I hope Ori or whoever is translating is giving a good example. Hierdie book, and also in the plural, I think I hope the translation are doing a good job there. So that's what we mean by the near demonstratives and the far demonstrative. Okay? And we use all these things every day. Okay? This and that. Now, a demonstrative pronoun, not adjective, a pronoun, will agree in case, number, and gender. I know after the holidays, guys are a bit rusty. Let's go back to the cases. You remember them? Can you mention all 5 cases that we have in Greek? Anything you have seen? Keke? Okay, I will come back to you. Just mention one case. A genitive. Okay. Now, this is your question. A genitive, its use is to describe another noun in 3 ways. What are they? If I say the book of me, that's the genitive. Of me. It's something, but then in 3 ways. It's possession, yeah, you own it, and then? Possession. Okay, let him help you. Relation, that the sister of John. So they are related. Okay, and what else? And the source, the word of God, the word that comes from God. It has its source from God. So that is the genitive. And then we only mention the genitive. And another case, the nominative, we're just doing a revision. And then a vocative, the mood of address, okay? Accusative, and dative. Are we all done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5. Yes, those are there. Okay? So, the demonstrative pronoun, when I say he, Lee, or Mr. Lee, that he and the name must always agree in three respects. That is in case, number, and gender. When we talk about the number, what are we talking about? Whether it's singular or plural. Whether we're talking about one person or more than one. And the gender, what are we talking about? We talk about feminine or masculine. Good. So they will relate or agree in those three respects. Okay? Now, with demonstratives, we must also expect that. Now, when a demonstrative stands alone, it is a pronoun. Just like when I say he walked and so forth, and then you use it as a pronoun, okay? And then it will agree in gender and number with its antecedent. You can read more of these notes going forward. Sorry. These are the pronouns that we use every day. That woman. If I am standing next to the woman, then what is this? This woman, okay? But as I move away from her and she is in a far distance from me, I say now, that woman is smiling. If then the women are more than one, I would say, if I am near them, these women are smiling, okay? But as I move far away from her, I can still see her from a distance. I'll say, those women are smiling. These are the demonstratives that we use every day, and it's nothing new to us, okay? So Greek also uses this kind of communication. This child is cute, but then, or these children are cute. But then as I move away from them, far demonstrative, those children, okay, are cute. So a far and a near demonstrative, both in singular and plural form. Okay. Now, the forms of the demonstratives, and now this is something that you have to go and learn them. Very, very important. In all the cases, nominative, accusative, genitive, and dative, in the masculine, and then the feminine, and the neuter. We have them covered, all of them. The first one in the nominative, hutos, meaning these. Okay? Hutos. And now look at the feminine. After, it changes. Okay? Out there, it has that, the spiritus, the sound changes. Ha. Mukesh, did you see that in the notes? You must always, I'll refer to, a bit back for their benefit. Alpha with the spiritus lenis will be just an A. Okay? But then alpha with the aspa, it will give you the ha sound. That's lesson 2. The spiritus. And then, so there you have haute. Okay? And then tuto. And then now the whole thing changes. Now we employ the tau in all the other cases except the nominative masculine and feminine. Okay? So I'm expecting you to know this by heart. You will definitely get them in the test, as they are. Fair enough. I tell you already what you're going to get in the test. I will ask you to decline hutos in all the cases that is the demonstrative. In all the cases, in the gender also, and the number, okay? Now, the plural forms also of hutos, all of them are there. You can see something is beginning to change. Hautoi, like you will have your logos and then logoi. That tells you I am plural, okay? So that's what it's happening there. The feminine also, and then the neuter, okay? I think the accusative, it's missing something there. Just make sure of that. Tu, tauta, ne. Tu ton, and then the genitive, and the accusative. I'm expecting you to learn all those. Please know them by heart. Store them in your God-given hard drive. It must be there. Okay? Good. Any questions so far? I did not deal with the far demonstrative. Ekeinos also. Ekeinos, meaning that. Ekeinos. In the plural, also, feminine, and then on the neuter, both singular and plural forms. But I think ekeinos is a very, very straightforward. In the feminine, it follows the pure eta, and then the neuter also, it follows just a simple, a straightforward neuter form. Okay? I'm talking about something in page 41. Ne, ekeine, ekeino, ekeinu in the neuter. The masculine follows the normal, the usual declension like logos, adelphos, and so forth. Just learn them for me, both in the singular and the plural forms. Please memorize them. Next week, Tuesday, we're writing a test. Next week, Tuesday, it will be lesson 6 and 7. Okay? Lesson 6 and 7. Please. It's a test. That is test 3. We will be enjoying that together. Right. Now, going forward, the special use of aftos. I'm done with the demonstratives. All you need to do, and I hope to handle 1 or 2 sentences with you. The special use of aftos, we know what aftos is. We used it initially as a third-person personal pronoun. But now, page 43, autos, the word autos is quite versatile, meaning it changes. It's the meaning, the range of meanings, the range of meaning of aftos changes. Here we have the special uses of aftos. And then the first one, or just to summarize it, we have the so-called the intensive use and also the identical use. The intensive use and the identical use. These uses actually speaks volume for themselves. When you talk about intensive, that's when you emphasize something, okay? You emphasize something. And then when you talk about identical, it tends to reduplicate the meaning. I will give you an example, and I want to draw your attention to page 43 of Croy, Afrikaans class. Please be following, be with me. We're going to page 43 of Croy, page 43. Are you there? In the special use of autos, let us look at aftos. We look at the intensive use. The intensive use, your aftos will stand in the predicative position with a noun. It is qualifying. Let's get an example. Okay, before maybe we get an example, when I talk about the predicative position, now your knowledge of the adjectives should help you here. We talked about the attributive and the predicative and the substantive use of an adjective. When we talk about the predicative, where do you expect these afters to be? In just a general knowledge of your predicative and the attributive adjective, what do we mean by a predicative position? Who can just describe that for me? Huh?
Stand before the noun or after the noun. Not in the middle.
No? KK, you want to try? When we talk about the predicative position, where is that place? Where is that? What is that position? Remember, the article and the noun stands together, and then the adjective will come. That means outside the definite article and the noun, then the adjective comes. Without its own article, then we call that a predicative position. Okay? Say for instance we have logos. I want to give you any other word. What is that? I'm giving you a demonstrative. How will you translate that? It's not a good example though. Okay, it will be that word, all right? Ekeinos, the word that word, but I want to use blame it to the holidays. Okay? Can you translate that for me? That is the predicative position of an adjective. The word is good. The word is good. That is your predicative. The word is good. But then let's have a second example. Ho, Carlos, logos. I'm still using the same word, but then now the adjective is standing in between the article and the noun. The meaning or the translation changes. Can you tell me the translation of that? The good word. That is attributive. Okay? That is attributive. So therefore, the intensive use of afters, when it stands in the predicative position, its meaning must actually be intensive. The example being, let's look at the example given there. The intensive use of afters also occurs with pronouns and even with all that. Look at the example. Afters su leges. Are you in that example? In page 43. Afters su legei. In the intense second paragraph, third paragraph, you yourself, I'm intensifying, okay? You yourself. You yourself say, after su leges, okay? And then the second example, aftos eguo krinuo. Okay, the translation is there. I myself judge. Okay? You will also get so many others. Like you yourself believe. He himself will appear. Okay? It's only when afters, look at afters there. It stands outside the noun and its article. Okay? Look at this other example there in the first paragraph. Thus, Autos ho anthropos. Autos ho anthropos. You have the word ho anthropos, the article and its noun, and then autos stands outside the article and the noun. So you translate it as the man himself. Are you there? It's outside. I'm emphasizing the predicative position. Please don't miss that. Once you miss that, you're going to give me a wrong translation. Once it stands outside, so therefore, if you find autos, a use or autos occurring somewhere, you must first determine whether it is inside the article and the noun or outside, and then you will know how to translate it. If it stands outside, that means it is predicative. Outside these two things. It's not in there, but then it is out there. Okay? So then you'll translate it as intensive use. And then the identical use, it's the attributive. When it stands in an attributive position with the noun, then you are going to use it as identical. Let's use the same example. Ho, okay, autos, logos. Now, it's not out there anymore, but it is between the article and the noun. How are you going to translate that one? Actually, that is the example which we have in the book. Autos, not autos, sorry. The same word, okay? The same word. It's not the word itself anymore. It is the same word. You say?
I was saving the word themselves.
The words themselves, it's intensive. You are intensifying. But then, if it's identical, something similar, identical, like twins, the same word. Okay? Because it stands in the attributive position. With the noun, it is qualifying. Okay? We have another example. He after agape. He after agape. Or he agape, he after. Attributive. Okay? If it's not standing in between, if it's not in between, it can actually be ho, logos, but then if it occurs outside, then it must also have its own definite article. If it doesn't have its own definite article, then it must come there. It must be in between. This is the lesson we got in lesson 6, I think, of the adjectives. Lesson 5, yeah. The attributive, the predicative, and the substantive. Please go and have a look at that in page 24. If you miss those adjectives, then I'm going to build everything on this, on something that we have talked about already. Any questions so far? The special use of autos, 2 of them, the intensive use and the identical use. The intensive, the man himself, God himself, then autos will stand in a predicative position. And you must remember what we mean by a predicative position. It's outside the article and the noun, okay? Without its own article. In the attributive, it must be between the article and the noun. If it's outside, then it must have its own article. Or both of them do not have articles. That's what we mean by and the identical or the attributive position. Questions? Questions? Our brothers also out there. If you have any question, please just open your mic and speak to me. Okay. I think we are almost done with this lesson. Now, how are we going to pass a demonstrative? How are you going to analyze the demonstrative? Same as the nouns, the adjectives, something that we have done already. You must tell me, remember, recognize and analyze. First and foremost, you must tell me what it is. Then you must mention to me that hutos or ekenos, hutoi or tuton, it's actually a demonstrative pronoun. Okay? And secondly, I need to know all those three: case, number, and gender. Okay? And then the meaning, the dictionary form, and its meaning. And then the last thing, you must explain whether it is a subject of what or genitive, and how is it working in that context. Okay? Straightforward. You can access this PowerPoint somewhere on Ifundi or what, I'm not sure. The recordings are going on now, so you can always get them. Okay, now, that's my favorite part of the class. Enjoy your day. Now, let's go and have a look at sentence 1. Sentence 1, page 52. Just want to do this sentence with you, and then we can stop there. Who wants to read the Greek for us? Sentence 1, Afrikaans class, practice and review. Sentence 1 in page 52. We're going to do that together. Who wants to read the Greek for us? I want to see if your Greek is still up to standard after the Easter holiday. That your Greek was not crucified, and so we need it back. Okay, good.
Ho theos apostolei tuton ton prophet ten eston laon.
Good. All right. Ho theos apostolei tuton ton propheten eiston laon. That is the first sentence in page 44. Did I say 52? Yes, that's wrong. That's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct. It's page 44. I'm not sure. Oh, it's actually Oefening 52. Sorry, exercise 52. But then it's page 44. So I'm all right. I'm okay there. I refer to the lesson as the page. That's the mistake. Okay. O theos apostolei tuton ton propheten eiston laon. Okay. Look at the main verb. Can you identify the main verb for me in that sentence? Remember that luo, lueis, luei, luomen, luete, luosin. Which word in that sentence has an ending similar to all those? Luei, luo, luei, luei, luomen, luete, luosin. Which word, has the kind of the same endings as those? Apostolei. Apostolei. So that is your verb. Né? Now you go back to your conjugation. I'm doing this for their sake. You go back to your conjugation. The word luo, lu, eis, lu, ei, luomen, luete, and then you have luosin. Luosin. Osin. Look at all those endings. They tell you more about the person ending. This word means I destroy or I loosen, but then you loosen. He or she or it loosens. We loosen. You, plural, loosen. And then they loosen. Now you look at apostolei. It has a similar ending as that. Apostolei, luei. So it means he does something. So if I pass that verb, it will be a present. It's now time. It's not I will or he will. It's not something in the past. It's present. Okay? It's present and it's indicative. Active and it's third person. Why third person? It's not first person. It's not second person, but then it's there. Third person. And it's not that side, but then it's singular. Okay? Present indicative active, third person singular of the word aposteluo. Aposteluo. What does it mean? I send. It's not apostolos. Apostolos is the noun. Aposteluo is the verb. I send. Okay? And it denotes a simple action in the present. Okay? That is your main verb there. Okay? And then, what is theos there? Who can pass theos for me? 7 things about that verb. I mean that word.
It's a noun.
It's a noun, so you identify it's not a verb, it's a noun. Okay, good.
It's a nominative.
That is the case. Number,
It's singular.
it's singular.
It's masculine.
Yeah.
The origin.
A dictionary form
Dictionary form is theos,
is theos, or, yeah,
meaning the gods or
I mean,
God.
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 God. We normally translate God without a definite article, just God. Okay? Unless we refer to the gods of something else, then we refer with the definite article. Okay? The God of the nation or the God of, meaning the idols. No. But then God in heaven is not translated with a definite article, it's just God. Okay?
So, if I write like in assignment, I think I've done that.
I will mark you wrong. So that's what is going to happen. Okay? Good. If you said the God, and then I'll mark you wrong. We don't, for next time, please. But if you did that in the exam, so you must, in the assignment, you must know you lost the mark already. Okay? And then you have a demonstrative pronoun, tuton. Tuton, there is the demonstrative. Who wants to pass that for me? First, we say we must mention it is a demonstrative pronoun. Case, number, and gender. You can see the case there, the on ending. It's accusative, and it's singular, and it's masculine. We said your demonstrative pronoun will always agree in case, number, and gender with the noun it qualifies. Which noun does it qualify here? Ton propheten, yes. This prophet, okay? This prophet, and they are all masculine. You can see it's singular and it's accusative, okay? Eis ton laon, eis plus accusative, into, okay? So the translation of that sentence would be, who wants to try that, Keke? You want to try and translate the whole sentence? We have told you everything already. Come.
God
Mm-hmm. Apostole, send, to send. But then it's a third person, singular. So, God. Try it, whatever you tell us. God sent, yeah? Which prophet are we talking about? That prophet have been specified. Remember, a demonstrative pronoun, we use it to specify a thing or a person. Which prophet are we talking about? This prophet, yes, tuton, there it is. God sent this prophet where? Into or to the people, to the nation, the Laos, the Laon. Okay? God sent this prophet to the people. That's the translation. Okay? I'm busy looking. We still have like 5 minutes, or we're almost done. Okay? But then, I need all this done. Translations and pass and all that. We will meet on Thursday. We will be doing that together. Tomorrow. Okay? You come well prepared. Okay? The timetable changes. You're no longer at 113 now. So you go and look at all those. I'm not expecting a perfect homework. Bring all those problems tomorrow in the class. Try and do that, and then bring it in the class. If you did not do anything, then you don't learn anything. But do those mistakes and bring them in the class, then you learn something. We will correct each other, and that's how we learn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes lesson 8 of Croy. Any question?
Prof, last homework, regarding chapter lesson 6 and 7, exercise and review, you talked to us parsing, translation, everything, and microstructure. When I tried to do microstructure, but I wasn't able to do that because preposition phrase.
Preposition, yeah.
We didn't get how to do that in microstructure.
Okay, Afrikaans class, just remain seated. I want to, what's going on? There's no, okay, let us briefly look at that sentence which we were doing today. God sent this prophet into the world. I'm sorry to use this. That will be your subject, Hotheos, and then you have apostolei, that will be your verb, and then you have, okay, so there we have, are you still okay there? God, Kumesh and Mukesh, and this is what we call microstructure. You can't see. That is the sentence we were dealing with. Hotheos apostolei. Huh? It's, yeah, this is how we do it. We pack it. Yes, yeah, we pack it. And then you have your direct object, ton propheten, but then it is qualified to ton, and then